Hello, and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I won't be streaming from I won't be recording from and doing vlogs from my scooter for a few days because I can't trust it at the moment. What do I mean by that? Well, ever since it had a service, I remember I bought the Quingo second hand. No way I could afford a full price one. So, just give me a sec. Okay, so, like I said, I bought the Quingo Tourer Mark II second hand. There's no way I could afford a full price one. But the one I bought was in very good condition. But it had been stored for a year. It was a 2021 model, and the person who was going to be using the Quingo mobility scooter, basically, I think they had a stroke and never got to actually using. The only mileage on it was about 69 miles, and that was mainly just by the people testing it out and seeing if anybody wanted to buy it, because a company bought it off them. Now, about a month after I got the Quingo, I thought, okay, so the Quingo is a very specialised piece of kit. It's not like most mobility scooters. It's very powerful. It's too much for most people. And also, it is very mechanically advanced. So I did the logical thing. I thought, okay, I'm going to bring up the makers, the people who make it, and they will come out and service it. I thought, to make sure, because I've got to rely on this. If I'm going to use this, if this is going to be a mobile safe space, I have got to leave. When I leave the house and get on that vehicle, I have to have no doubt that things are going to be okay. Yes, I have a breakdown cover on it. Yes, I have the ability, and it is fully insured. But for me to leave the house and to put my faith in it, and to not have all my issues and problems cause me to not be able to leave the house on it, I've got to have faith in this, rooted in fact. So I had them come out. Now, I don't really blame the engineer who came out, because it looked in really good condition. And he did the tyres, he checked the frame, he got it up on its back end so he could look at the frame and make sure there was no issues with anything. He got the pressure of the tyres up to 35 PSI, which is the standard for all the tyres. Did all that kind of thing. But we didn't do the detailed checks. Now, whether this was because time constraints or whatever, but let me pause this and show you what is supposed to be done. So this is the checklist in the service manual. They're supposed to do a diagnostic road test, as in they're supposed to take it and ride it around. The engineer didn't do that. He just asked me if there was anything I knew was wrong with it. I don't know whether he checked the wheel bearings, but he definitely didn't lubricate them. He did check the wheel alignment. He didn't do a steering and tilt mechanism check that it locks under pressure. He did check the wear and damage to the tyres and wheels. He did check the bodywork. He didn't check the throttle. Remember, he never got on it and did anything on it while it was turned on. Didn't check the steering bearing for wear, or check the backwards and forwards motion. He checked the seat mounting. He did check the transaxle mountings are tight, so he did that. Didn't check the handlebar alignment and check for damage. He didn't do the motor brush wear or motor speed check. He didn't do transaxle play. He didn't do electromagnetic brake operation, because he didn't do any of that, because I was the only one who moved it around. He didn't go on and try any of these. He didn't put it in freewheel and check the fault indicators, check the brake holding on slope, all these things he didn't check. But some of the things that we missed is this. I've talked about it before. There's a little piece of rubber, and I've shown you one of those, that holds the indicator. It's a flexible bit of rubber, so it can be pushed back and forward, so it doesn't actually just snap. And there's two indicators, one on either side. Well, what I didn't notice until I checked it close by, and you would have to actually look at it, is it actually looks as if it's rotten or brittle, the rubber tubing on either side. Probably because it was in storage for a while. Not a bad thing. I thought, okay, because the reason I noticed it properly and the reason I checked it was because one of the indicators fell off. Not fell off completely, still had the wire connected to it, but came out of its holder and actually was just hanging down. And I couldn't get it back on because it's a specialist system, so you have to undo the entire tiller system to get inside to put it in. So that was one thing they missed. But that's not major. It was still hanging down, it was still flashing, it was still working, it just wasn't in the right position. And they were going to come at the end of this week, as I said, to fit a canopy, to repair that bit of damage, and to fit a rear-facing camera. And so I was fine with that. Now, yesterday I went on one journey out. I went to my GP, and then I went up to town, and then I went to the Tesco. You all saw that because those have been uploaded. But then, later in the afternoon, I thought, I want to go somewhere new. And this is the wonderful thing. I was thinking, yeah, I want to go somewhere new. So I decided to go up by where I used to live. Quite a long journey, probably about, I think the entire journey was 12 miles. I went up to where I used to live. I went past the place where I was born. I went past my old house. I went all over the old estate, which is quite far away. And as part of that, I was going up this place where there was a little ramp. Now this ramp, I don't know whether I would say it was too much of a hill, but I think it should have been able to make it, but it stopped halfway up the hill. And so I was on an incline like this, and it was like near the top of the incline. So it was a incline with like a set of, it was a ramp that was made to go up and down because there was steps next to it, and the incline was there, tarmacked incline for people with wheelchairs or anything like that, so that you had a place to get down, bikes and all that kind of stuff. So I went about 3 meters up this incline, and then my vehicle stopped in place and it wouldn't go any further. I just thought, okay, so I've hit the limit of how much of an incline the Quingo can do. So I thought, no problem, engage the manual brake before I release the throttle, because because I didn't want it to just be held there by the automatic brakes. The automatic electromagnetic brakes are brakes that are built into the actual engines area and that, but it has a pull lever disc-based brake that is there as a manual and an emergency brake. I pulled it in all the way and released the throttle so it wasn't holding in place, and it started to roll back. I re-engaged the throttle to hold it in place. By this time it had rolled down almost into the metal railing, and so I'm in a position where I'm freaking out now. I put one foot down, but we are talking a very heavy piece of equipment, and it's got me on as well, and I'm trying to hold this thing in place. It freaked me out completely and totally freaked me out. And so I'm in this situation where I'm holding it in place with the throttle and trying to get it to maneuver it, because it was starting to edge into the actual railing, because the railing was curved and I needed to get it around to be able to get it down below it. But to do it comfortably, I wanted to engage the manual brake. The manual brake didn't work at all. Not just didn't work, it was doing nothing. It was just holding nothing. There wasn't any resistance at all. Nothing at all on the manual brake. Well, I managed to, in the end, get the Quingo around and back down to the thingy. This scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie, this scared the shit out of me, because the thing is this. All I can think back to is the thousands of times over the last 2 months where I have come up to, as you've seen on many of my videos, come up to a crossing with fast moving cars, and I press the button and I wait, and the automatic braking system kicks in, which is a completely separate braking. There's a disc-based brake, which is the emergency and manual, and there is the braking system that is built into the drum system, built into the motor system. That is the one that as soon as you take the hand off the throttle, it stops the vehicle. Well, all I could think for the entire journey home, and I came home travelling at 2.5 miles an hour, and with my seatbelt off in case I had to jump out of it. Yeah, that's how scared I was. And all I could think about was all those times over the last few weeks that you've seen me on videos, stopping at a crossing. I know every time I stop at a crossing, I rest my hand over the manual brake, just in case I need it, just in case the electromagnetic automatic braking system fails. It never has. But it's a single point of failure, and that manual brake system is supposed to be, that's your Hail Mary. If your vehicle starts to go haywire, something happens to the electronics and it starts heading towards the road and oncoming traffic, you pull that lever, you stop the bitch. It doesn't work. And I realised that the guy who did the service never tested it. So my Quingo is now sitting underneath its covers. I wrote quite a strong email to Quingo last night, and this morning I talked to customer service, and the people who are coming out on Thursday to give my vehicle to put the upgrades on it is also going to do an in-depth check test of every component, basically. You see, this is a mobility scooter. This is a medical aid to transport. You've got to be able to have confidence in it. And he says this shouldn't have happened. He should have checked all those systems. I still love the Quingo. It's not the fault of the vehicle. The vehicle is very well made. What's happened is somehow this has been missed. And before I take a single meter on that Quingo again, it needs to be 100% tested, every part. So yeah, that is why until after they've been in on Thursday, you will not see me on my mobility scooter. So I hope you're all having a good day. I'm trying to stop my brain going round and round and round. About this situation. Because I don't want to lose the love I've got for the Quingo. I don't want to lose my confidence in that vehicle. Anyway, bye-bye for now.